So what inspired you to become a vegetarian?
Well, my reasons for being a veggie are different than I don't necessarily expect other people to have the same feeling, but I did it because I didn't want to eat my dog. I I just love animals, and I always did. And when I finally was faced with the decision of could I eat my doggy, the answer was no. And so I thought, if I can't eat my doggy, what business do I have eating these other creatures that have the same capacity for love and joy and pain and desire to live and whatnot? But what happened was what is really the miracle that I'm so excited to talk about with people is that, I thought I was sort of giving up everything for this love of animals, but actually I was given the greatest gift of all because about, a week or two into being veggie, my skin changed drastically. I got all glowy, my eyes got really white. I had cystic acne all over my face. It all started to go away. I lost a tremendous amount of weight, and I started to feel really light and tons of energy. My nails got so strong that you could not bend them. I mean, those things didn't all happen in 2 weeks, but and people just sort of said to me, "You're glowing. What's going on?" And I thought, "What is happening?" And then I started to do research on the subject because I was like, "Why is this happening to me?" And when I did the research, I found out that this is the way that they're curing heart disease and cancer and diabetes, and there are many doctors out there doing that. So this is really a healthier way of living, not just a trying to save my dog. You know what I mean? But that's where my intention came from, and now my commitment is to my health and the planet. Once I understood all the planetary reasons, how much of our precious resources we use, the water, the fuel, oil, and the rainforest, and our grain, all of these resources that we're using to feed 20 billion heads of cattle in the world, when we could, that's like 3 times the human population. So we could be just feeding it directly, using our precious resources on us. So.
And what's your best advice for college students that are interested in living a simple life, especially with a simple college budget?
Burritos. I don't really like burritos, but my husband loves burritos. Burritos are cheap, and they give you action-packed food. I mean, it's like, beans, rice, vegetables, and a tortilla. You can't avocado. You can't. It's like really good. I think that's a really good thing to have. But also maybe ask your parents when you go to college if you can get a mini refrigerator. And don't fill it with beer. Fill it with food, and get yourself. Just start get with groups. I have a website that you could go to called thekindlife.com, and you could kind of connect with other students and sort of put the word out there through I don't know how you guys do it on campus, but sort of like create groups of people that say, hey, let's have potlucks, let's feed each other, let's do this. If everybody makes one great dish, in my book, The Kind Diet, there's amazing recipes for delicious things that you could each make one, and everybody brings it together and everybody shares food, and that way you don't have to cook all the time together by yourself as well. Steal food from the cafeteria. Steal extra, it's not really stealing, but take extra oranges or bananas or whatever, just take extra fresh food that you can store in your room, that's good for you, that you can have on hand. Trader Joe's, I'm assuming you have that. Trader Joe's is pretty cheap for good food. And farmers markets, if there's a local farmers market, go to the local farmers market. And there's these I think they're called CSA boxes. I get the name wrong. But there are these local farmer boxes where they send you, it's probably harder if you don't have a kitchen, but if you do have a kitchen, you can get these boxes that are local, organic, really cheap food. So it's good.
And did you ever get any criticism for being a vegetarian?
Well, I have over the years, but when you're really, really informed and you feel as amazing and great as I do, and it's been this long, I feel like people just kind of get it, whoa, it's a force to be reckoned with. Being veggie and feeling this good and looking, I've never looked better, and I feel like I look better than I did when I was younger because I just feel good. And so I don't think people really criticize it as much anymore. I used to get a lot of it, in the early years. But I was also walking around kind of pissed off at the time. You know what I mean? Because you're so mad. You want to scream, does anybody realize what's going on? You just want to walk around screaming rape and murder or fire. everybody's not interested. So, so it's probably not that appealing.
And are you happy with how veganism is portrayed in Hollywood?
I'm just happy that it's becoming so. When people say things to me like, "Oh, it's so trendy to be vegan," I'm like, "Well, that's hilarious that you think it's trendy, because it couldn't have been farther from trendy when I began." But hey, like, that's wonderful. The more people, I think we have a really, really huge growing veggie population, and what I really want people to realize is that it's not all or nothing. You know, you don't have to commit to being vegan.
Mm-hmm.
If it sounds remotely scary to you, don't. I would just beg you to go to the library and borrow. When you go to the library, you borrow books, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You don't rent them.
Yeah, you buy it.
But take my book from the library. You know, get it used on eBay or wherever they use books.
Mm-hmm.
Share a book with other people, but read my book and connect with other people about this information, and you'll find that you can feel amazing, look better than you've ever looked in your life, and that even just making simple, small choices will lead you to that. So it's about having really good information, knowing what's true. You're being sold so much bull out there in the world from people who want to make money from you. So try really hard to ignore that information, get educated and informed on the subject, and then just pick as much as you can. Like, if I forget to bring my my water bottle with me that I carry everywhere one day, I don't suddenly decide to stop. It's more just like, oops, I forgot today. So you can do the same thing with food. If you suddenly you're at a party and there's nothing there but cheese dip and you eat some, don't decide you're not vegan anymore or that you aren't veggie anymore. Just, do it again the next day, and recommit. So it's just about not being hard on yourself and picking more quality choices more often, and not being hard on yourself when you don't. And the more choices you make in this good direct, oh my god, in the good direction. It's so fun. Sometimes you feel the baby go beep. In this good direction, the better you'll feel, the better the planet will feel, the better the animals will feel. Everybody wins. So even if you just went meatless for a day or a meal, or the more the better.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.